Football season is here. Michelle Montaigne's in Oxnard. The Ultimate Dallas Sports Show is on your television, and Jerry Jones will soon be on your television. We are an hour away from the Cowboys opening press conference for Training Camp 2026. Y'all, we have made it. The very short summer from the end of the World Cup to today is over. Football season starts now, and Cowboys start practice tomorrow. Michelle, how is it out there? Is it about 74 and beautiful, I imagine?
It is. You know what? Meteorologist Michelle Montaigne reporting for duty. It is 74. Mike, how did you know that?
It's always 74 there.
Yesterday it was 75. Thank you very much.
Oh, okay.
But
sorry.
it is beautiful. It's a little bright, not gonna lie. At some point, these might have to go on because it is quite sunny out here.
It fits with the vibe. Just leave it on. It fits with
weather.
the vibe. I like it.
It does. I know. Yeah. That's my Cali girl coming out. Yeah.
Don't worry, Michelle.
I will say. I know. Thanks.
Oh, there we go.
Thank you.
See, Michelle, why didn't you leave your pair of sunglasses here for me so that I could wear those ones? And
yeah, it's not the first time she's left sunglasses around here.
I did, and then I never got them back. So
what we have is the cool side of the 4-box and the lame side of the 4-boxes.
We will hear from Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, Brian Schottenheimer a little bit later on, a 1 o'clock press conference, 11 a.m. out in the Pacific time zone on the practice courts, on the tennis courts in Oxnard, California. Once again, Oxnard is the Cowboys' home for this summer as they get ready for the 2026 season. Will it be any different this time around? We saw them arrive yesterday in Oxnard, and that brings us our first opportunity to see the blood, sweat, and tears of one Andrew Seeley that put this open together to get us fully cranked up for what is on the show today. On the show today, all things Dallas Cowboys. It is that time, and was that lava to start this thing off?
They were forged in the fires of difficult seasons past. Hoping
there's
for
a narrative to this thing?
Yes, there
highly
actually was
poetic.
a narrative. There was a narrative to the visual. There usually is when I make something. So
yes,
I was going to say there's no chance with Andrew Seeley that there wasn't some sort of like metaphorical meaning behind that. So fits.
Yeah, it's a regular.
Speaking of metaphorical meanings, Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys arriving yesterday in Oxnard. Prescott with a Super Bowl 30 champions t-shirt. Of course, the last time the Cowboys won the Super Bowl 30 seasons ago.
It's been a minute.
Perhaps manifesting his destiny. Here's Dak walking in. There's the t-shirt. Super Bowl 30 champs.
I had to Zapruder film this to make sure because it was such a quick shot from AP. AP actually, photographer Arnold Payne, got the shot and then texted me like immediately afterward. Was Dak wearing a Super Bowl shirt? Because he saw it in like a 3-second span.
Yep.
You guys, we were all lined up. So basically when the players get off the buses, there's one sidewalk that leads them into basically like the check-in area on site for the Staybridge Suites. And it's not that big. It's maybe 20 yards of sidewalk, and all of the players, staff, and coaches have to file along this sidewalk. That shot that he got, the fact that he even got it is impressive, but he's one of the best, so of course he got it.
Right,
but
of course.
I mean, there were maybe 5 seconds where we, the media, had a chance to see Dak, and it was instantly a topic of conversation. Like, Tyler Smith came and talked to us right after they got off the buses, and one of the first questions he was asked was, hey, Dak was wearing a Super Bowl t-shirt? Like, what was that about? And, of course, that led to more conversation about, the Super Bowl expectations for this team. But, one, we know that Dak isn't going to do anything and not expect to be asked about it. Like, that was very much either a deliberate thought of his, or at least he knew there was going to be some sort of rhetoric around him wearing a t-shirt with a Super Bowl on it. But two, I mean, there was a very short window of time where we were going to get the chance to even see that shirt. And it was instantly discussed amongst everyone, at least media wise, that was there right after Dak got off the bus.
And we did hear from Tyler about Tyler Smith, Cowboys offensive lineman, shortly after they arrived, exactly what you're talking about this Super Bowl T-shirt that Dak Prescott was wearing, and the statement that may or may not be.
The ultimate goal is the Super Bowl. I mean, everything I've done, my whole career, this offseason, ultimately this training camp will be to win a championship. And that's a huge thing for us as legacy. I mean, if you host up that trophy, you live forever, in our opinion. So I think that's what it's all about right now, and I think everyone's focused on that goal right now.
How realistic is that, though, for this year?
I think it's extremely realistic. I think if you put in the work and you do what you're supposed to do and you continue to attack every day like you're supposed to attack it, you can be a champion.
Extremely realistic for the Dallas Cowboys to be hunting after a Super Bowl in 2026. That by itself is a headline. That by itself is a statement from Tyler Smith. Is he right?
Oh, ask Ed Werder, and he has a very different thought on the whole thing. Kelly brought this up vibes-wise yesterday, and he was like chapter and verse on how much this team still has to overcome. I mean, it was kind of surprising.
I know that I'm not like a huge football person, but I have enough of a passing knowledge, at least I thought I did, until I suggested the vibes to Ed yesterday. And for 5 minutes was just basically told why everything I thought was wrong.
We love Ed. He's fantastic. He should be on the show more often. That's not what we're saying here. But it was funny. To sum it up, no vibes from Ed.
Ed is not feeling the vibes yet from this team. I think he wants to see more. He has been one of the ones that has pointed directly at, hey, Christian Parker's done a lot of great things. Cool. Never called a defense before.
Right.
What's that actually going to look like? He might be great at it. We just don't know yet. We haven't seen that part of his skill set yet in action. We haven't seen him actually have to do that part. So, can he? Again, the answer might be a resounding yes. We just don't know yet.
I will say, I think last season, around this time, first of all, we hear Tyler Smith's answer out of every single player's mouth at every single camp across North America.
Yes, we do.
I mean,
right.
The United States at this time of year, like everyone goes into the season expecting, or at least telling themselves they have a chance to win the Super Bowl, as they should, right? Like you got to believe it first before you can make anything else happen with that. But at the same time, last year, this exact time, we were convincing ourselves, or at least the team was telling us, that because Matt Eberflus had proven that he had a lineage and proof in the pudding when it comes to putting elite defenses out on the field, that he was going to be the right guy. He had the head coaching experience. He could kind of help mentor Brian Schottenheimer, who was entering his first season as head coach. He had proven success as a DC. So on paper and with, that sort of thinking as logic or reasoning, you could convince yourselves that, okay, yeah, with the offensive firepower they have and a DC who's proven that he can put a really solid defense out on the field, this team has a chance to be successful during the season. And we saw exactly how well that worked last year. So to your point, Mike,
there was a specific caveat to that in that Micah Parsons was not a part of the proceedings. So had he been around, maybe they wouldn't be. But Andrew Seeley,
you're telling me Micah Parsons? Exactly. No. Even with Micah Parsons on the field, they're not.
Well, they'd have been in the 20s,
middle
probably.
Of the pack.
Right. Well, they wouldn't have been 16. They would have been bottom half. But
23.
Yeah,
but even if they were 23, you're probably. Do you win 9 games instead of 7.5? Are you right there in the mix for a playoff spot?
And do you get Caleb Downs out of it, which is the other side of it? So.
Well, granted, because the answer there would be no. But
yeah,
all I'm saying is that you can convince yourself either way. To your point, Mike, we've never seen Christian Parker in a defensive coordinator role in his life. Does that mean he can't do it? Well, we don't know. But I think for him to say it's realistic to win a Super Bowl in our how old is he? 34? 30 something? Our 34-year-old DC's first season. I think you wouldn't expect to hear anything else from Tyler Smith being asked a question like that. But yeah. I think Ed Werder probably raises a few good points in kind of pressing pause on those Super Bowl expectations.
Listen,
Ed Werder bringing up good points.
It is absolutely correct what you said, Michelle, relative to every team. All 32 teams across the league will this week have somebody talk about, hey, our goal, our expectation this year is to go win a Super Bowl. Everybody says that. So it's made to be a bigger deal when the Cowboys say it because it's the Cowboys, because they are as hot button a topic as they always are across the national landscape, and frankly, because of how much of a punching bag they have been for 30 years, it's funnier when they say it than it is when somebody from the Bengals says it. Even though the Bengals have had an even longer walk in the wilderness and may never win a Super Bowl. Sorry, Jonah.
Well, they've actually been to a Super Bowl, though, in the last 30. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, for all of the dunking on the Bengals we can do, like, the Cowboys are one of the few franchises that haven't made it
in that span, yes. But that's all I'm saying. Like, whether they've been or not, I don't know, pick another bad team. Right. The Cardinals, the Jaguars.
The Jaguars.
Cardinals also made it to a Super Bowl. Yes.
Okay. What, 15 years ago with Kurt Warner at the helm? Like, it's been a minute.
Was it 15?
It's been a while, yeah.
Oh, that's scary. I don't need that.
It was against Ben Roethlisberger, bro.
Again,
it's been a while.
That should be a while ago. That was just yesterday, okay? Come on now.
It's been a minute.
Time is a figment of our imagination.
2008, so that would have been,
18 years ago.
That's disgusting. You know what? Never mind.
More than half the time we have to go back to find a Cowboys Super Bowl appearance.
18 years ago was the last time the Detroit Red Wings won the Stanley Cup, and I managed to get Hockey Talk in.
Thanks, Kelly.
And there's your 6 seconds of hockey.
It was
Kelly
less
is
than that.
talking about
You're
hockey.
welcome.
While, meanwhile, just peeling back the curtain a little bit here at camp. So I think everyone is familiar with the schedule of this week, but in case any of the viewers aren't, obviously the players arrived here yesterday. We made a big do-to-do about that. Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, Brian Schottenheimer about to take the stage here in what is like 45 minutes for their State of the Team address. Practice officially starts tomorrow, but all the guys are currently making their way out onto one of the practice facilities, starting to do a little warm-up stretching. A couple of the coaches are out here already. Not quite yoga vibes, Michael, but
because they do.
Little,
that wasn't meant as a joke. Like, you will see them doing
Oh.
yoga at some point over the course of.
Was that 23
okay, yes.
when they started implementing that? I feel like that was.
I remember what year was the first?
It was,
that feels like a Mike McCarthy move.
Yeah, it was brought in during the McCarthy. I'm serious. It was brought in during the McCarthy thing. So.
Yeah. Listen, you gotta have activations for the activations to make sure everything's all limbered up and ready to go, so you're ready ready to practice and not hurt anything. It's part of why they're there, so they're practicing on grass and not busting their knees. Imagine if they did that in a game.
It is. I will say it is wild to see them out here in their silver and navy. I mean, football season is here. Like,
here
we go.
And truly is. Let's hear a little bit from Malik Hooker, because we've talked about the expectations for this defense. He talked as well about what this defense is going to look like as they launch training camp under Christian Parker, this new 34-year-old defensive coordinator.
It's just like a breath of fresh air, being able to, connect with CP and the new defensive coaches and stuff like that, and talking to them, they're smart, detail-oriented, and, just look for us to come out here and compete. And I feel like, with the details and the stuff that we put together throughout these OTAs, we keep building on that. It's going to be a special year for us. We got a lot of special players that we brought in on the defense. A lot of guys that was here before, Big Q and Big Kenny and guys like that played with us, but now, it's more of just kind of putting a repetition behind it. I think Big Q came in the middle of the season, so just about repetition now and bringing the young guys that we got now, and bringing them along with us.
There are
right on cue with a whistle there.
That was good, yeah.
I think that
there are different elements to this defense than what we saw last year. The addition of Quinnen Williams halfway through the year did make a positive impact on this defense, and now you've got an entire offseason to build a scheme around the things that he can do. You now have an entire offseason for Christian Parker to conceptualize what he can do with Quinnen Williams in the middle, with Kenny Clark in the middle, with the linebacking core that they now have that looks a little bit more rounded out compared to what we experienced a year ago that was very bad. Now you've got DeMarvion Overshown, another year one, healthy.
Yes.
But another year veteran as well, and understanding what is going to be expected of him. You add in D. Winters to this linebacking core. Like, there are reasons to look at this Cowboys defense and think they should be better. They should be maybe significantly better, Now, does that mean that they get to 23 in the total defense rankings? We'll see where they're actually able to fall. I don't think all of a sudden you're going to wake up and have the 13th best defense in the NFL. But if you can get to 19, all right.
I just feel more comfortable with the guys on the roster. I feel like leave the Eberflus part out of it. Like, as much as we don't want to try and look backward, but Malik calling it a breath of fresh air is hard not to. At the same token, like, even if it was Eberflus's defense, I feel more comfortable that there's a veteran presence on that side of the ball that has experience playing in big games and knowing how to navigate good offenses. Like, some of them might be on the older side. Everyone wants to point at Rashawn Gary and where he is in terms of his peak physically and what he can bring to that defense. But at the same token, like, if he's emblematic, then to some degree, like, I feel confident that he will be in the right spot. Whether they can physically do it is a different aspect entirely. Like, that, the communication shouldn't be the issue, and that alone will be a huge jump from at least the first 9 games from last year.
Yeah.
Well, even just being out here, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you're good.
Well, one of the guys said to me, one of the Cowboys people said, we didn't just make a couple of adjustments to our defense. We fully overhauled it. And I mean, yes, there are still carryover players from last year's team. But if you think about like the fact that there could potentially be like 7 new starters on defense this season. Obviously, you have a new scheme that CP is coming in trying to implement. He's talked all offseason since he got hired about wanting to be multiple. And you've heard about, or I mean, you've even seen like the different ways that he's kind of disguised coverages with his time, or at least with his secondary at some of his previous stops. So I just feel like there's so many questions right now. And what that means to me going into camp is it could go really well. It also could go really not well. But at this point at camp, you just don't know. The fact that there is that potential upside, though, compared to like what you said, Andrew, in the Eberflus of last year and the roster of it all from last season, I think the fact that there's even just a higher potential for that side of the ball, especially when you consider some of the names on this roster, I guess at a certain point you just think like it can't get any worse. Like literally, it can't get worse from last year.
The other thing that has been really nice about this offseason, though, is how placid, how quiet it has been for this organization.
Oh my gosh.
We are not used to this vibe. We're not used to going into training camp with no drama, no shenanigans, no contract holdout, nothing to there is no touch-tone central storyline to this Dallas Cowboys training camp right now, which is weird, but it's nice. And today is kind of that last link in the chain, like, hey, Jerry, kind of Steven, but mostly Jerry, don't screw it up. Let us get the practice without anything else taking the headlines away. Like, if there's something goofy, whatever. He's going to have something goofy because he's always got something goofy.
Always.
But no, like, actual drama. Don't drop a nugget in there that creates some chaos. Just let your team focus on football, and let's see what that actually looks like.